And the Itster for best personality in a podcast goes to Ian.
Oh, thank you. This is incredible. I guess first I'd like to thank the Academy and
Woo!
and Tim for supporting me on the podcast and all the work that we do together. And of course, my parents and my beagle. He's not here tonight with us, or this morning, I mean. But thanks, and this is incredible. Thank you very much for this award.
That's just a prop you don't get.
Okay. No.
Just a prop.
I need to present it to you now.
Okay.
All right. And the IT-SCR, the IT-SCR, the IT-SCR.
IT-SCR. Scare.
For best supporting part of the podcast.
Supporting role.
Goes to Tim.
Wow, I feel so honored. Oh, thank you. See, the tears just overflowing. Oh, I can't take it, man. And I'd like to thank the Academy, most importantly my computer, for being there for me so we could record.
Woo!
Woo! And then I'd like to give this last Itster to Molly for the Bob Ross thing. There you go. It isn't quite work.
Yeah. We actually do have a very cheap plastic Oscar prop here.
Yes.
I found it at a party and just took it and nobody cared. It's not a full-size Oscar. It's smaller, but that's okay. For our purposes, it works.
Yeah, we are a very small podcast, so it works.
So, just along that line, my understanding is that Molly finally realized who you were.
Really?
A few days ago, yeah. She had messaged me on, I think, Thursday, saying, it's like, I finally know who Tim is. It's because you were the TA in their science class, right?
In Mr. Hall's class.
In Mr. Hall's class, yeah.
So she's in that class.
Yes.
I don't know who she is, though.
Oh, this is rich. So, Molly has finally found out who you are.
Oh, yeah, because there's another kid in there who asked me, hey, are you on a podcast?
That's Jake, yeah.
Jake, okay. Jake, you're a wonderful person. Thank you.
So Molly now knows who you are, but you don't know who Molly is still.
Oh,
this is fantastic.
I might actually know, but I might actually not know, so...
So, Molly, we're going to give you
I've heard the name.
We're going to give you 2 IT Oscars.
For bamboozling.
For both being, what did you give?
For the Bob Ross picture.
For the Bob Ross picture, and also you get an Oscar for bamboozling Tim. So you have 2 Oscars to take away today. Good job. Alright, there you go. If you couldn't tell, viewers, today's episode is about the Oscars. We will be talking about, the Oscars, but also doing sort of our own thing. If that's okay with you all. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need your approval. This is pre-recorded.
This is pre-recorded. This is not a live show. What are you talking about? So
we won't give mistake
the way we're gonna do things here is and Tim came up with the idea, and I liked it when it was explained to me, because the first time I didn't understand it and rejected it, and I deeply apologize.
I feel so saddened.
But what we're gonna do is this: we're gonna present some awards to. We're not doing all the categories. I've gone and looked up the order in which they were presented in, and we're doing that, but not all of them. Only a selected few of the awards are we going to do, as you shall see later. And after a couple of presentations of awards, we'll do a commercial break.
Air quotes commercial break.
Yeah, commercial break in quotes, which that will be our R&D section.
And then we'll end it, and then we'll probably, during the best picture thing, instead of doing the Academy, that's probably what we'll do R&D. So HR, I mean.
HR, yes.
HR.
After best picture, then we'll do HR.
Yeah.
As normal.
As normal.
Okay.
Which there isn't much HR, but I was going to talk about Jake. I didn't know his name, but he's like,
yeah.
He yelled at me.
He yelled at you. Oh, save that for the end. Never mind. I want to hear that in its full glory.
I'll tell you the story of how people learned.
Yeah, but you have to get through the Oscars first.
Yeah, you
guys.
get through the Oscars, or just skip the video. But
Or just skip the video to the end until you find the. That you have that power.
All right.
So here we go. We're gonna.
Ian, did Jimmy Kimmel?
Well, first we got to talk about the actual Oscars just real quick before we get.
Okay, fine.
Remember? Yeah. So real quick. So, Best Picture, it went to Shape of Water by Guillermo del Toro.
Hashtag almost Oscar bait.
Best Director also went to Guillermo del Toro for Shape of Water.
He's Spanish? He doesn't look Spanish.
He's from Mexico.
He's like Andrew.
Anyway, moving on. Best Actor went to Gary Oldman for The Darkest Hour.
Yeah, I didn't realize until like 2 days after that movie that Gary Oldman played Winston Churchill.
Yep.
Because it doesn't look like him.
No, they did a lot of good makeup stuff on that.
Best makeup probably should have done in that movie as well.
I think it did.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Best Actress, Frances McDormand for Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. And I have not seen that film.
It's a weird name.
But I've also seen that it is a quite good film. Best Supporting Actor went to Sam Rockwell for also Three Billboards. Best Supporting Actress went to Allison Janney, I'm guessing, for I, Tonya.
That's the one lady in the red dress.
Yes, there. Best Original Screenplay, Get Out for Jordan Peele. And just a little bit of things on the side there. Jordan Peele was the first person to be nominated in a very long time for both screenplay, director, and Best Picture. So all three of those ones. That's pretty good. Best Adapted Screenplay went to Call Me By Your Name.
Disaster Artist probably should have won.
I don't know.
Tommy Wiseau was very mad. He also wasn't invited to the Oscars.
Neither was anyone else from the disaster. Like James Franco wasn't there either.
Tommy Wiseau really wanted to go there.
Yeah. Best Animated Feature Film went to Coco, of course, because the other nominations aren't really, Oscar winners. Boss Baby and, Ferdinand.
Boss Baby. So I would have said, if we were going by the official list, I probably would have said Boss Baby would win because that's the only one I've seen out of the 5.
Best Foreign Language Film went to A Fantastic Woman from Chile.
Chile.
Or in the Gringo, Chile.
Or
Best Documentary Feature.
Chile.
Best Documentary Feature went to Icarus. Best Documentary Short Subject went to Heaven is a Traffic Jam on the 405. I haven't seen any of these. I apologize.
Yeah, documentaries are kind of boring sometimes, especially the Oscar ones, because the Oscar ones are all weird. That's why you watch Mysteries at the Museum on the Travel Channel.
So you watch Ancient Aliens on History Channel?
No. Actually, that's
I'm just kidding. Yeah, don't quote me on that.
Actually, that's on Hulu if you want to go watch that afterwards and make fun of the dad.
Nope.
My dad.
Best Live Action Short Film went to The Silent Child.
Both silent after that.
Best Animated Short Film went to Dear Basketball. Oh, that's right. Kobe Bryant. Got that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And real quick for the best live action short film for The Silent Child, Rachel Shenton did some sign language when she was accepting the award at the same time.
Huh.
So that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, just to preface, I did watch some of the
yeah,
Oscars.
I watched none of it.
Yeah. Best Sound Editing went to Dunkirk. Best Sound Mixing also went to Dunkirk. Best Production Design went to Shape of Water. Best Cinematography, Blade Runner 2049 for Roger Deakins, getting that 14th nomination and finally winning. Best Makeup and Hairstyling went to Darkest Hour. Best Costume Design went to Phantom Thread. Best Film Editing went to Dunkirk. And Best Visual Effects went to Blade Runner 2049. So there we go, ladies and
All
gentlemen.
those blockbusters. That the only thing they had going for them in the Oscars was.
That's the only thing blockbusters ever have going for them is visual effects.
Yeah. Because you have Blade Runner 2049, you have Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, Blade
2.
Runner 2049 really is not a blockbuster.
Yeah, it was not.
Yeah. And in all honesty, I would rather it not be, especially after watching it.
Yeah.
If it was a blockbuster, if it appealed to the kind of modern Hollywood kind of blockbuster, I don't think it would have been a good film, but it was. So even if it wasn't that successful at the box office, I would rather have it stay that way than have it be Michael Bay type blockbuster and make a lot of money.
Yeah.
So
then there's Khan, Skull Island also.
Yep.
Last Jedi and Planet of the Apes.
War for Planet.
War never changes.
It's a Fallout reference. Okay, moving on. All right, so there's the actual.
Oh, do we go over the sound ones?
Actual Oscars. Oh, it's not there.
You're strolling way too far down.
Guys.
Up. He's on Wikipedia.
How
Best original score.
did I? It's weird. How did I skip that? Anyway.
Oh, Last Jedi's also on Best Original Score.
Yes, best original score went to Shape of Water for Alexandre Desplat. Best original song is Remember Me from Coco.
Is it just like, remember me, remember me,
No,
me,
it's better than that.
remember me?
This is why you're not a music.
This is why I'm not in band.
Yeah, this or in any kind of music
I can play
related thing.
chopsticks.
That doesn't count. My piano's not on. Okay, moving on to our own show. Are we ready?
Get ready, Jimmy Kimmel.
Are we ready? I'm not. Okay.
You probably did.
All right, here we go.
got the
I'll be Jimmy Kimmel here, real quick. I can't do an impression, but I'll try and act like.
Did he have a co-host? Does he have a co-host on his
No,
talk
he
show?
doesn't. But I'm gonna say that you. Okay, so here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hello, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first annual IT department Oscars.
Look, we have the
And
award.
we're gonna present our first award here tonight for best supporting actor. So please welcome Tim.
Woo!
Woo!
So I think my pick might have to be Woody Harrelson in War for the Planet of the Apes.
I'd agree with that.
Ian agrees with that.
I also agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, alright, so we're just gonna
Yeah.
did a great job.
So, what other nominations would we have?
That one French guy in Dunkirk that doesn't talk until he's like, everyone believes he's a German. That one part.
Yes.
And then, what other people supported their actors? Oscar Isaac, I guess.
I'd nominate Mark Hamill
Mark Hamill did it.
for Last Jedi.
Yes.
I'd nominate Harrison Ford for Blade Runner 2049. And I would also nominate. Wait, I'm getting it. Almost there. Whatever the director's name is for Thor Ragnarok and Best Supporting Actor as.
Oh yeah. I almost said Kronk.
No, it's
I
not.
said Korg.
Yeah, as Korg.
The Rock Man.
Yeah. And then, of course, our agreed winner, nomination
Liam Neeson.
and winner, is Woody Harrelson for his role in War for the Planet of the Apes.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go, the next award for makeup and hairstyling. Nominations are...
No, I never really pay attention to makeup and hairstyling.
That's okay, I was going to give it to Black Panther.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah. So now comes
Give it to the boss
your
baby.
choice.
Give it to Boss.
No, doesn't count.
Yes, it does.
Animated films do not go into that category.
Well, the people that had to make the movie had to put on makeup. Probably put on makeup before they went to work. But you never saw it. It was fantastic.
Oh, I see. So he's going for the socially aware kind of move. You don't see it, but it happens all around you.
Yeah. Let's see. I remember 2 years ago when Star Trek 3 came out, and it lost makeup and hairstyling to Suicide Squad. I was pretty mad about that one.
Really?
Yeah.
At Oscars.
At Oscars.
What the heck?
Lost to Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad. Let's see.
Okay.
Thor Ragnarok had pretty good makeup, I guess. I mean,
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, what we're going for here, ladies and gents, is movies we have seen. Just to keep it fair.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2 did as well.
That would also. I was going to say, it's okay. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 or Thor Ragnarok for the Oscar. For the IT department Oscar.
And then you said Black Panther.
I chose Black Panther.
And then there's Boss Baby at the very bottom.
Yes, that's just a nomination.
Ooh. Wait.
He's remembering a movie.
Wait, no, that would probably go for costume. That'd probably go for costume.
Yeah, don't mix up this one for costume design.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. What one makeup? Oh wait, it was the
Darkest Hour one.
Darkest
makeup
Hour.
in the
I'm pretty
middle.
sure the costume one was more makeup one though for the winner. I don't remember what it is though. So when I looked at it, I'm like, that should have just won makeup. But whatever. I don't remember what it is.
Pick one.
I'm gonna say Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, for Yondu and the
Yondu
and the Sovereign.
yeah. There you go.
All right.
You won the Itzker.
Oh, we lost our Itzker.
Oh, the Itzker.
I like it. We don't have a definitive name for these.
It's the IT Sker.
I mean, it's like, there's Oscars, but people also call it Academy Awards.
Yeah.
I used to think there was a difference.
There's not.
Growing up, I would have
The
been.
Academy chooses who gets the Oscar, I think.
When I was growing up, I used to think it was like Golden Globes, Academy Awards, and then Oscars, but the last two are the same
Is it
thing.
like the Academy from
I'm
Phineas and
smart.
Ferb? Is it like the Academy from Phineas and Ferb, where the one monogram guy
Sure.
kind of has
we'll say that it is. All right.
has
Best.
flashbacks about the Academy?
Yeah.
The Academy.
The Academy. All right, best costume design. My nominations for that would also have been Black Panther, Thor Ragnarok.
Boss
Blit-
Baby should have won makeup.
No, stop talking about Boss Baby. You do not have permission to talk about Boss Baby until we get to animated. Okay.
Is it?
Okay. So Black Panther, Thor Ragnarok, Guardians, and then Blade Runner 2049.
Is it?
Yeah, and out of those, for best costume design, I would probably give it.
What if I spin another one? Excuse me. Shh. Spinning another one.
Okay.
Greatest Showman.
Okay, there's another nomination for best costume design, Greatest Showman.
Yeah.
To me, I would give our IT department Oscar to.
Ian has stabbed his mouth.
Thor Ragnarok.
I'd give it to the Greatest Showman.
Okay.
There's a three-legged guy, the
Mhm.
bearded lady, the one albino person, which that's the only person that really wears makeup.
Mm-hmm.
There's the one.
Also, that's what you were thinking of?
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
the one tall guy. There's the Siamese twins.
Yeah.
They're all in this the whole time. It's all like costumes,
Yeah.
and then each one has like different costumes they have to wear for the circus show. So
My second pick would have been Black Panther for costume design because the outfits in that were also pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I'll give it to Thor Ragnarok because I gave best makeup and hairstyling to Black Panther. So there we are. All right, let's go to commercial.
let's go to commercial.
Commercial music. What do we got for our first commercial here?
If you or a loved one have been diagnosed with mesothelioma, you may be.
I want to go
entitled-
back to the show now.
So first news: have you ever liked that thing called the Nintendo Switch?
Yes.
They had a direct on Thursday, which announced a bunch of new games, a bunch of new stuff, and an entirely new thing that kind of was. There you go.
We're using our Oscar as a
But
microphone.
this is we use the bass as the microphone.
Ah, yes, we're using the base of our Oscar as a
So
microphone.
in the direct, they announced that Dark Souls Original Remastered is coming to the Switch,
Yes.
and they are giving it an amiibo. It's the guy praising the sun.
Oh, Solaire.
Solaire amiibo. Look it up. It's a real thing, and it's coming out with the game. I don't know what it does.
Solaire Amiibo.
He's like praising the sun. Look at it's amazing.
I need it.
And because of certain things, he may also.
And other questions. Okay, cool.
See, that's amazing. And so, they also announced their new Mario Tennis game, Mario Aces, which already was announced, but they announced so much new stuff.
Yeah.
The last Mario Tennis game was super underwhelming, but this one looks like it might have more stuff. They already added a ton of new characters, might have new game modes, but the best character, though, is Chain Chomp.
Chain Chomp.
You can play tennis as the Chain Chomp. Look it up.
I'm deeply concerned.
He
But
doesn't,
I
he
need
doesn't
to
hold
say-
the. He doesn't hold the. He doesn't hold the. He doesn't hold the tennis racket with his with his chain. He'll hold it with his mouth.
I'm seeing the picture here. Yeah, that's pretty
It's
great.
absolutely beautiful.
Oh, I love it. I feel like, the guys at Nintendo were just like, we should have done years ago. Let Chain Chomp play tennis.
And then Splatoon 2 is getting a whole new DLC. For it's It's Nintendo's first paid DLC for Splatoon 2. Every other one's been completely free, but this one adds a whole new single player mode, adds new maps. Like the single player mode will be more in depth than the single player mode that comes with the original game.
Mm.
It stars the new characters that haven't actually had much screen time, to my knowledge.
Okay.
And it'll like reiterate what happens in the story and what happened to the last story. And you get to play as the fan favorite creatures called the Octolings. And also, Undertale's coming to the Switch. That'll be Undertale's first console release. So.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So Nintendo, I don't know anything about Undertale, so I just know
Neither
it's
do I.
coming. It's
Yeah.
fan favorite. So, and then the last bit of news, they showed off with a. It's dying.
We're good here.
We're good.
We're still online.
Yeah. The last bit of news, at the end of the thing, they had a little surprise announcement that showed the Inklings like they were in their first trailer for the first, when they announced E3, like in 2014, which showed the Inkling girl from the first game, Inkling boy, just squirting ink everywhere. But then instead of it going to Splatoon 3 or something...
Don't drop your Oscar microphone.
It's true.
Yeah.
The screen went dark, and the Inkling boy and girl are now confirmed for Smash Bros. Smash Bros. 5, possibly, coming to the Switch.
It's not a remaster or a port because the line is gone. Credit to Video Game Donkey.
I don't think it's a port either, mostly because the logo is different, and Link is different as well. You know how in the Smash Bros. Wii U, Link has his iconic tunic and everything? In this trailer, he doesn't have his tunic at all, or the hat. He's Breath of the Wild Link.
I see.
Yeah, so so you can see his hair, and he's not wearing his hat. So I don't think it's
See those luscious blonde locks.
luscious locks. Yes. Yeah, I don't think it's a port at all.
But also because of the line in the logo.
Yeah, because of the line. The logo's completely different as well. That's also another thing. Not just the line. Like the words are completely different. The O's are different. There's there's different lines. It's a different looking logo.
Yeah.
Compared to the last two, which for Wii U and 3DS. Pulls up Video Game Donkey. And so yeah, that's about it. Ian, are you now wanting the Nintendo Switch so you can have your Praise the Sun amiibo?
I've been wanting to get a Nintendo Switch since it came out, but there's another reason to get it.
Yeah. Yep.
There we go.
All right, moving back to the Oscars.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the IT Department Oscars. In our next category, for sound editing. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do, real quick. I'm going to combine sound editing and sound mixing into a single award.
Sound editing.
So,
Elements.
people like Tim and I who do not know that much about sound editing or sound mixing can just pick a movie for best sound. Is that okay? Okay, here we go.
What movie had the best sound?
Tim, what are your nominations for the Oscar in best sound?
I'd probably go with like Dunkirk. First off, they tend to hear that.
I don't know, say it again in case. They probably did, but
yeah, they can hear a lot of stuff on that.
it's true. It picks up quite a lot.
And so I'd probably go with Dunkirk. First off, had a lot of good World War II sounds and bombing and everything. Then Last Jedi, because it did have a lot of good music and music, sound design in there, like the way when the one ship went to the other ship and just
the light speed.
Yeah, light speed, kamikaze. That had pretty good sound.
Yep.
The way
or lack thereof.
Or lack thereof, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the first.
Because that is still part of sound design.
Yeah. That you see, Star Wars is not like with physics, with like sound doesn't go through space. Like they could have easily put sound in there and it would have been justified. Like in that universe, there's sound in space. But nope, not
But for that shot.
Yeah, for that shot there wasn't.
It's pretty good.
One of my favorite Star Wars sound bits is in Episode 2, when they're going to Geonosis. And
like the bombs, the supersonic.
Yeah, the bombs that just go. That explode, and as they explode, you finally hear the sound.
That was pretty cool.
Those are pretty cool.
I very much like the sound.
Ian, what do you nominate?
For best sound design and mixing, I would nominate Dunkirk as well, and Blade Runner 2049, and Star Wars, The Last Jedi. And I would also probably give it to Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, that had good sound.
Yeah.
That sounded good.
But for the winner, I would give it to Dunkirk.
Yeah, Dunkirk.
As well.
Like, it won in the real Oscars, it'll win here.
Yeah, it won both of the sound editing and sound mixing at the real Oscars. Because here's just pretend that the one cheap plastic Oscar I'm holding is now divided in two.
It's assigned
because I still remember sitting in the theater. It wasn't even the ARC theater
Yeah.
that we have here. It was just a regular theater. But apparently, like one of the guys that works at the theater told me that there's like there's something special about the one that we were in. Like there's something about the speakers that are like really good in that one.
Yeah.
When like the shots where the German Stuka dive bombers
Yeah.
came by and dropped their bombs on the beach.
Luftwaffe.
Whenever they did that, the seats shook in the theater. The entire theater shook at those moments. So the sound in Dunkirk is absolutely incredible.
Oh, yeah.
They definitely deserve those Oscars in real life, and I'm very happy to give them our IT department Oscar on the show. 2, yes.
Itsters. 2 Itsters.
Yeah.
I just said Itsters.
Yeah, Iskers. Yeah.
Itsters.
Yeah, we know the. All right.
Production design. What does that mean?
I don't know enough about that. I could look it up, but we're going to move right along.
Oh, you added that for a reason. You just
I know.
got rid of it.
I know.
Fine, just look it up real
So
quick.
define production design. That
Design.
unintended
Film.
is the person responsible for the overall visual look.
Overall visual look.
Okay. That's also like art design and art direction kind of
Okay.
thing. Okay. Who do you nominate, Tim?
Oh, it's been done.
Stop it.
I apologize for the very loud sound that just probably went across.
Yeah, stop breaking their ears.
Rip headphone users. Which is basically everyone that listens to this. So yeah. So Dunkirk again.
It's okay if that's the only thing you.
Boss baby.
No, you aren't allowed to talk about that until. Sorry, I had to blow off some dust. Anyway, moving on.
Dunkirk 2.
Tim, you know,
Go ahead.
I thought Thor Ragnarok had a pretty cool art direction.
Sure, that too.
So what would you give it to?
War for the Planet of the Apes as well.
His nomination.
Yeah.
So who wins the IT department Oscar for best production design for you?
War for the Planet of the Apes.
War for the Planet of the Apes.
Yes.
Okay. For me, my nominations are War for the Planet of the Apes, Thor Ragnarok, Guardians of the Galaxy, Black Panther, and Blade Runner 2049. I would give my Oscar for best production design to Blade Runner 2049. Because the art design of that film, like I've seen concept art, but in general, just the look of things in that movie are just like, oh, freaking superb. There we go. So there's that. All right, we're gonna cut to another commercial here.
Yeah.
Reporting that Black Panther has now officially passed the 1 billion mark at the worldwide box office. And in tandem with that, we can say it has been officially confirmed that there will be a Black Panther 2. Okay?
And also,
Yeah.
none of that money is my money.
Yeah, that's, well, obviously.
Yeah. I haven't seen
Because he hasn't seen it yet.
Yeah. We'll probably do a Black Panther episode when the DVD comes out.
So, a tidbit with that, this makes Black Panther the 33rd movie in history to reach this milestone. In unadjusted global grosses.
Yeah, with adjusted, like, for the time period, Gone with the Wind is still the biggest movie ever.
Yes, it is. So there we go. Because of a very massive opening weekend in China, it has reached this 1 billion mark in the box office. So there we go.
All right, is that all?
Welcome back to the show.
Back to the Oscars,
Yeah.
I guess. Jimmy Kimmel kicked it off.
Okay, no, you're announcing this next one.
All right. So the next one is supporting actress, and
He can't read.
yeah.
We're sorry.
So Ian, who would you nominate?
What would I nominate for Best Supporting Actress? Here we go. I would nominate Kate Blanchett as Hela in Thor Ragnarok.
Yes.
And I would also nominate. Hold on a sec. It's loading.
Buffering.
I just forgot. I would nominate Lupita. I can't say her last name. Nyong'o? Maybe. Okay. Lupita. I know her first name.
Lupita.
For her character in Black Panther. I would also nominate. I think those. Hold on. This is difficult. It'd be better if we did this beforehand, but that's okay. We're prolonging the length of the episode.
Yeah. Just feeling it.
Because we would actually worry that this would be on the shorter side.
Yeah.
I would probably. Those are the only two that are running through my head right now. I would give it to Lupita for Black Panther. There you go. Best supporting actress.
So I'd also say Hela, 'cause she was good. And then I would probably do the wife of Hugh Jackman in Greatest Showman, because she was good in that.
Mm-hmm.
And had a big role in like half of his decisions in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'd probably give it to her, honestly. So there.
Okay. There we go. You need to stop abusing our prop.
The old man he's 90 years old, Ian. Look at him.
So stop abusing him. That's reason to stop abusing
Just
it.
wants to leave.
Stop letting it drop him.
Best
All right.
animated feature.
All right.
Boss Baby. Only one I saw this year.
Only one he saw, so he gives it to
Boss Baby.
Boss Baby.
Boss Baby, instant winner.
Unfortunately. For
Instant
Tim.
winner.
Tim, you're no longer on the show.
I mean, I did see Captain Underpants, but that was also trash. About as much trash as Boss Baby. But who cares about Captain Underpants when you can watch the Boss Baby?
Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin. As the Boss Baby. Okay. Here we go. Who would I give Best Animated Feature to? I would give it to Coco.
Puffs.
No, just Coco.
Puffs.
No.
Puffs.
Tim, first? No. I think as far as animated features go, I think Coco was the only one I had seen.
It's probably the only one.
to be honest, because I didn't watch Boss Baby, and I definitely did not want to see Captain Underpants either.
Did Disney come out with a movie this year? I'm sure they did.
Did they?
Besides Coco, yeah.
Well, that's Pixar, so. Did they? But did they? Quickly, Google search.
To the internet.
We might get another nomination here, but, just to reiterate, I'd give it to Coco
Yeah.
for Best Animated Feature. Disney and animated movies. 2018.
2017.
Oh, that's right. I know. It's
Wrong year.
Cars 3, I guess, if you wanted to
That's
give a
also
nomination.
Pixar.
I know.
But yeah.
So if you wanted to give a nomination to that, but yeah, there you go. Those are our picks. All right, now
Visual effects.
an Oscar for visual effects and Phil. I imagine this should have a larger list for you
Oh yeah.
and for me as well.
Yeah.
So-
War for Planet of the Apes. Thor Ragnarok. One just got lost in the break.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
It was not that one. I mean, I had to do visual effects, but I had another one I would like to nominate. You nominate yours, and maybe I'll remember it.
My nominations for best visual effects for our IT department Oscar would be Star Wars: The Last Jedi,
Yeah, that was the one I forgot.
Thor Ragnarok, War for the Planet of the Apes, Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 2. Okay, and Blade Runner 2049. But my winner in this category would definitely be War for the Planet of the Apes.
As my
Yeah.
great visuals.
As much as, I liked Blade Runner 2049 and it did win Best Visual Effects in the real Oscars this year, I thought the War for the Planet of the Apes really deserved it. And because, I also looked up, because Dawn of the Planet of the Apes
Yeah.
was nominated when that came out, and it lost to Interstellar. which is really bad because I also like a lot Interstellar,
Yeah.
and I think Interstellar also has really good visual effects. So it's really difficult for me, but I like the work that Way to Digital did with the apes and the performance that Andy Serkis gives and all that stuff. This year, I will give it, excuse me, to War for the Planet of the Apes for best visual effects.
Woo!
And Tim will as well.
Yeah.
So there we go. And guess what we're gonna do now?
Cut to commercial.
We're gonna go to another commercial. Tim, what do we got?
Alright, so Ian, are you prepared for this? Ewan McGregor's got a new movie.
It's called
Christopher Robin.
That's right. I remember watching the trailer for this.
Yes.
Stop moving my chair.
Sorry. I quite enjoyed the trailer.
Yeah.
Because Winnie the Pooh was part of my childhood. And also Obi-Wan
yes,
was in it.
very much. Two people in our childhoods there.
And Jim Cummings, the guy who's voiced Winnie the Pooh since before I was born, is going to voice Winnie the Pooh in this movie. Yes. So, got that.
So he's the voice of Winnie the Pooh that Tim and I recognize.
Yes. He voiced him in the 2011 movie as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's voiced him since 1997 and all the other Winnie the Pooh media. And now he voices him here. And what do you think of the visual effects so far? It's coming out on Thanksgiving, and it already has great visual effects.
I think they're doing a fantastic job.
Oh, yeah.
And, as I told Tim when we first talked about this, I'll watch really anything with Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
Because I like him as an actor, not just as Obi-Wan, but because I think he's a good actor. Yeah. But I think they're doing very well.
Oh, yeah. Disney does pretty good on their visual effects in their live-action movies.
Yeah, not gonna lie. They do.
I have seen all of them, unfortunately. Which, I say unfortunately, because half of the, or I'll say almost all of the Disney live-action movies are pointless.
Because they're, like,
Or
rehashing.
all of them are pointless, I guess, but, I only really liked one of them.
Which is?
The Jungle Book.
Yeah.
Jungle Book tries to tell a new story while sticking to the basics of the original.
And that...
While Maleficent is...
oh.
Cinderella is just the same story, except it's prolonged. Beauty and the Beast is the same story, except it's prolonged and also idiotic half the time. It's basically the Hobbit level of stretching something out.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. By adding a ton of new dumb crap, so it's fun.
I see. I see. let me channel my inner Super Nintendo there. I see.
Super Nintendo.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jungle Book last year won for best visual effects. I think
it did visual effects too.
Yes, it does. All right. Welcome back to the show.
Welcome back to the Oscars.
The first annual
Itsters.
IT department Oscars here.
Itsters.
We're gonna go for best cinematography.
That's how the shots are made.
That's right.
Pointed out.
The camera work, the visuals of a movie. Tim, what are your nominations for best cinematography?
Dunkirk, War for the Planet of the Apes, and Greatest Showman.
My nominations would be Dunkirk, War for the Planet of the Apes, Thor Ragnarok, and Blade Runner 2049.
I kind of feel like we're like a one-trick pony because we didn't see a lot of movies this year.
I know. I mean, we look so bad to the people who have watched like the actual movies that were nominated and won things because we're just focusing on our nerd stuff.
Yeah.
But hey, this is a nerd podcast.
Yes, it is.
So we do. If you came here watching this video hoping for a more sophisticated and intelligent review process and nominating and winning, we deeply apologize. This is not the place for that. There are people out there that will do a much better job. But if you've come here to enjoy nerd-related things, then yeah, you've
and enjoy Ian's melodious voice, then you've come to the right place.
See the difference there, folks?
All right. I'm going to give it to Dunkirk. Dunkirk did a great job.
Dunkirk.
With framing how how there's the week, the day, and the hour, and everything lined up perfectly.
And the aerial shots, especially for me, the stuff they would do with the Spitfires and the dogfights was absolutely great.
It was great.
But I would give my best cinematography to the real life counterpart. I would give it to Blade Runner 2049. Because it goes in tandem for me with the production design. The art style, with the visuals and how Roger Deakins, after 14 nominations, finally got one. It's incredible.
He did it.
Blade Runner 2049. Oh my gosh, the imagery.
He did it.
There we go. There's me absolutely fanboying at 2049 once more.
Original score now. I'm going to go with my nominations are War for the Planet of the Apes, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and Dunkirk.
My nominations for Best Original Score would be Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I hope you're not mixing up score and soundtrack.
I know.
Okay. You got this.
Yes.
Okay.
No, you got to come now.
What are we doing?
You got to come now. This is movie related. Come.
Okay. Pause. Come back and wait. Okay, welcome back.
Yes, we're back. That was the thing.
My dad came down to show me one
us.
thing. Because speaking of film soundtracks and composers, he showed us. I'm not sure what the movie was, but Danny Elfman.
Back to school.
Was it?
Yeah.
The movie was Back to School, featuring Danny Elfman and his band. So this is Danny Elfman before he was like film composer, right? In his band Oingo Boingo.
Yep.
Young Danny Elfman singing, also young Robert Downey Jr. But there we go, fantastic stuff. I very much
I
liked it.
forgot my picks. I'm just going to say...
That's okay, here
War
we
for
go.
the Planet of the Apes,
Yeah.
one original score. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah. I also forgot as well. So I would. It was Dunkirk, War for Planet of the Apes, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and Blade Runner 2049. But I would give it to Michael Giacchino for his work on War for Planet of the Apes, because that score made me cry.
Ian's a crybaby.
And it was another thing that I thought absolutely insulting that it did not get a nomination for Best Original Score of the real Oscars. Like, what the heck?
The heck, bro. Alright, it's best original song.
But there we go. Best Original Song. Tim, I'm going to let you take this one.
So I'm going to say nominate Here I Come from Greatest Showman, and then can I just do the whole score from Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
The whole soundtrack? Yes, you can.
Alright, that's that's the only
Yeah.
like movies I listen to with songs with it.
Mm-hmm.
Ian's turn.
Yeah. So out of the I really only have 2 nominations, and that would be Coco and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. But at the same time, I also have Thor Ragnarok for its usage of the immigrant song Led Zeppelin in Thor Ragnarok. And I might give it to that, but at the same time, there's all of the songs in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 that I liked a lot. So that's really difficult.
I'll probably give it to Greatest Showman because that was an original song.
That's true. They only give it to original songs.
Yeah, so Greatest Showman.
So that means like all of the. Never mind. Yeah, our nominations for Guardians and Thor Ragnarok do not count worth anything because it's not an original song.
All right, do we want to do best?
So I would because therefore then I would then I guess give it to Remember Me from Coco, because that also very much touched me. I think you should watch that movie.
Like my siblings have watched it because they've done it at a friend's house and they have it, but we don't have it. So I'm like, I'm like it's not Day of the Dead. Maybe I'll watch it on Day of the Dead. Maybe it'll be better than the Book of Life. And the Book of Life wasn't that good anyway.
Oh
so.
my!
Ian's like,
For Day of the Dead, I'm just gonna watch the opening of Spectre. I'm just kidding. No, but
I watched GoldenEye yesterday. It was really good.
There you go. It's like Pierce Brosnan's only good Bond movie. But yeah.
I think Goldfinger is better though. Goldfinger was really good.
Well, Sean Connery.
Sean Connery.
There you go. Anyway. All right. So we're going to go to our commercial break again here. What I have here for you guys is just a real quick thing here, because you already know all your news, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Robert Downey Jr. of course, Tony Stark, Iron Man, but also Sherlock Holmes is still
Man
hoping to
of
do
Honor.
a third Sherlock movie, which you've seen both of those, right?
Yes, not in a long time, but I've seen.
But you have seen them. And do you remember liking them?
Well, the first one was good.
Mm-hmm.
The second one, I can remember watching half of it, and then and it was probably the later half because like, what's going on?
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's just a little quick news thing there. I've been wanting for like at least one more movie in this franchise for Jude Law and Robert Downey Jr. to return.
Didn't Watson like leave him or something? Isn't it like after the books and Watson just kind of leaves?
What, the second one?
Yeah.
No, the second one it's Sherlock fakes his death because it's the Reichenbach fall, Moriarty story. So Sherlock fakes his death, and at the very end, so like throughout the movie, like you hear narration from Watson, and like because he's writing like a story about Sherlock, and then he writes the end at the end, but Sherlock's there in like a disguise, like camouflaged in the background, and then walks over to the typewriter, like leads to the last few sentences because he likes to be amused with himself, and then adds a question mark after the end, and then it rolls credits. So I think you should watch the whole film. You should watch all of Game of Shadows because I liked both of those movies. And
Yeah, because I remember none of that.
yeah, so that's yeah.
So
I guess
yeah,
in the second half.
I do remember in the other one, there's like a satanic cult, and he like kills a bunch of people because they're like goat or something, and then he does the one thing where he dies and then he puts the turkey skin on his neck. So Watson's like, yeah, he's dead. And then
Yeah, he's dead.
yeah, he's dead.
This is no longer British. He's dead.
Yeah,
Look.
that guy's different.
My look of it, Sherlock looks dead.
Yeah, look at he looks dead. And then he breaks out of his grave and like if he didn't, no one broke in. They broke it out, and then there's the lab with the turkey skin, and then the guy tries to like put gas into the one room of congressmen,
You're getting about half of this right,
and then
but I'll give you points for what you're getting right. This is like half correct synopsis of Sherlock Holmes 2009. But moving on, welcome back to the
Sherlock
show.
Holmes is in trouble or something, and then like, 'cause they
Tim,
did it.
we're
Oh, we're
back.
done?
We're live. We're live.
Okay. Welcome to the Itsters.
We're gonna present our next three categories here for best director. Who do you nominate
They nominate Christopher Nolan,
for Dunkirk? It's okay if you don't remember the
James
names.
Reeves, Matt Reeves,
Matt Reeves.
Zack Snyder, and whoever did the best thing.
Really?
Because he did the real Justice League.
Oh, that's right. No, excuse me.
Ian.
I nominate Matt Reeves for War for Planet of the Apes, Christopher Nolan for Dunkirk, and Denis Villeneuve,
Joss Whedon.
but he didn't direct anything. I'm not counting that. I'm choosing to forget it.
No, yeah, I did Zack Snyder. You had to do Joss Whedon.
Oh, okay. I see what you said. Let's restart. Okay. Just pretend that didn't happen. My nominations for Best Director are Christopher Nolan for Dunkirk, Matt Reeves for War for Planet of the Apes, Denis Villeneuve for Blade Runner 2049, and Joss Whedon for the theatrical cut of Justice League.
That's a lie. He ruined Justice League. Zack Snyder did the real one. Quote some DC fan who's sure he's the best, who's sure DC's the best.
Yep. Don't go on social media and talk about
DC
Justice
fan on
League.
the Rotten Tomatoes page.
That's true.
Give me the Zack Snyder cut. I'd sign the petition, so it must exist.
Yeah. But I would also nominate, finally, the director of Black Panther as well. Who his name
The one guy that always puts
is-
Michael B. Jordan in his movies. That guy.
Black Panther director. I would also nominate Ryan Coogler.
I'm
There
pretty
you
sure
go.
we're missing someone. Like movies we've seen.
We should probably do James Gunn as well for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And Tahiki for Thor Ragnarok.
That's a lie. Zack Snyder.
Oh my gosh. Zack Snyder made a version of Thor Ragnarok and it's better.
It's better.
So who would you give your Oscar to for Best Director?
That's it.
Please do not actually say that.
I'd probably go Matt Reeves.
Matt Reeves for War for the Planet of the Apes.
Yes.
Okay. For me,
Close second would be Zack Snyder.
Oh no. If that's your close second, this is just as bad as Suicide Squad getting makeup.
Yeah.
That still makes me upset. How does it get that over the Star Trek Beyond?
I don't know.
The heck?
You know, because it took him like 3 hours to put the scales on the one guy's face, and then.
It takes 3 hours to do that for 50 extras in Star Trek Beyond.
But it's the one guy, and he has the angry sharp teeth, and he barely does anything in the movie.
Well, at least he's more useful than, the one other character. Never
Man,
mind.
if
Moving
you
on,
climb
moving
anything.
on. We're not talking about that. That's for
Man, if
that's
you climb anything.
Okay. I would give my IT department Oscar for Best Director this year to Christopher Nolan for Dunkirk. There you go. Yeah.
Alright, the next one's Best Actress.
Here we go. Next, Best Actor.
Best Actor.
Best Actor. Who would you know? Oh. Real quick, I'm going to go back to the very beginning and also nominate Michael B. Jordan for Best Supporting Actor. At the very beginning, because he did very good in Black Panther.
I nominate
But anyway, moving on to Best Actor.
Andy Serkis, the one English guy in Dunkirk who was part One Direction, or was.
Harry Styles, I think is his name.
Yes. Tom Cruise in The Mummy.
No. That did not come out in 20...
Yes, it did.
It came out in 2016.
No, it came out last year.
What?
The Mummy came out last year. The Ummy.
The Mummy. Oh, it did. Well, it's so forgettable. I wanted to say came out in 2016.
Yeah, Tom Cruise in The Mummy, and then Ian in the IT department.
Oh, thanks. What do you mean? I'm just an actor on the podcast? I'm not actually... Oh,
Yeah, it's
fine.
I'm just multiple personality disorder.
Oh, good for me.
One voice sounds better than the other.
I see. Okay. My nominations for Best Actor would also be... I would also nominate Andy Serkis as Caesar in War for the Planet of the Apes, as well as Ryan Gosling in Blade Runner 2049.
Sure, we're missing.
Oh shoot! Real quick, also to nominate Best Supporting Actor in the very beginning, Jeff Goldblum.
Yes.
I should have done that. I'm remembering all of this now. Now that we're later in the show, I'm remembering all these things. But back to Best Actor. I also thought Adam Driver in Last Jedi put on a very good performance. So there's that. But my Oscar goes to Andy Serkis for
As well as
Caesar in War for the Planet of the Apes.
As well as mine.
I've talked to Tim about this before. It's like the same thing with the score. The fact that Andy Serkis did not at least get a nomination for his performance in War for the Planet of the Apes is honestly insulting to me, because I told you this. The poor guy.
Fixed it.
What do you mean you fixed it?
It was pointing that way.
Oh, thank you. The poor guy has to explain that performance capture is no different from any other kind of acting. It's just like, just because he's in a tight gray mocap suit does not mean that he's delivering a good performance. And like Hollywood and the Academy doesn't seem to get that.
Yeah,
Like,
that's wrong.
Andy Serkis in like every single interview for Planet of the Apes stuff, or actually, never mind, for any interview in any movie he's in, even if he's not doing motion capture, has to explain to the people that, hey, performance capture is still, performance.
Yeah.
He clarifies that it's not really motion capture, it's performance capture, because you're capturing acting of the actor. So I wish people would realize that. So that's why I give my Oscar to Andy Serkis.
Yeah, that's wrong. Zack Snyder made the real better version. Just
God, that's wrong. What you have to do now, Tim, is combine the two. That's wrong. Zack Snyder made the real version of Boss Baby.
Boss Baby. Much better, and didn't look as happy and shiny as Joss Whedon's cut. I mean, the Boss Baby did a lot more cool stuff in Zack Snyder cut, I'm sure.
Well, here's the thing, because I remember watching one thing, like a thing with Woody Harrelson, where he's describing about working with Andy Serkis on War for Planet of the Apes. And he talked about one of the things where I agree with the way Andy Serkis acts and the emotion that he can convey with his eyes, just using his eyes. And I think that's a very important thing. When you're watching Planet of the Apes, you're very much focused on Caesar's eyes. And that's one of the things that Andy Serkis delivers in that performance.
Alright.
So there we go.
We're in kind of low on time, so Best Actress.
Best Actress.
Did I watch any movies that had a female lead? Oh, shoot.
Yes, it's called Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Rey wins. That's the only one I watched.
That's the only one you watched for the...
I'm sure, and I feel bad about that, but...
as do I.
Rose Tico.
No.
Yeah, no.
That would be Best Supporting Actress.
That'd be Worst Supporting Actress.
Anyway, I would also give it to Daisy Ridley, because...
Oh, that didn't.
Yes.
No, wait.
Her name is...
Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman.
Oh, Gal Gadot for... I don't know. Gal Gadot. I say Gadot, but I don't know.
That's weird.
I'll say Gal.
That's who wins for me.
So, yeah, nominations for this year would be her for Wonder Woman and Daisy Ridley for Star Wars: The Last Jedi. I would give it to Daisy Ridley
Gal Gadot.
in The Last Jedi.
Yes. Gal Gadot didn't have to be... It moved around in space by Andy Serkis and tennis balls.
Tim, we've just been over this.
Alright, before we move on to Best Picture...
Our last commercial.
Last commercial.
Here. I have some very exciting Valve news. Brought to me by my friend Tony.
That's wrong.
That's wrong. Zack Snyder brought me this Valve news.
Yeah.
He created Half-Life.
Yeah,
Not Gabe Newell.
Jack Snyder made all the
Jack
best.
Snyder. In the past week, there's been a lot of commotion at Valve. So people are getting really excited because Valve has confirmed that they're going to start shipping and making games again. And
Not just Steam? What?
yeah. And there's an article here from PCGamesN.com that you can read if you want. Valve are going to start shipping games again. And then Gabe Newell said that they got jealous of Nintendo.
Yes, but I read an article that specifically said they're jealous of Miyamoto and the fact that when he makes a game, he's able to design it around not just the software, but the hardware.
Yeah. And the article talks about how, Gabe Newell and Valve sort of explained why they took their hardware route in the past few years. And as to why that makes them jealous of Nintendo, because they're able to do the game thing and the hardware thing at the same time. So now Valve are going back to the game thing, but also in tandem with this, Valve has hired like 2 new artists, and if you look on their resumes, it says Untitled Valve Project, Valve game, and it's not for their card game, whatever it was called.
They already have too many card games.
They don't have that many really.
One is too many.
But because it's not for that card game. Because if you look on the resumes, like it tells you if the person's working on that card game. Yeah. No, these 2 new artists are says Untitled Valve Project. Okay? There was also the Gordon Freeman HEV suit skin in the Final Fantasy thing, and that was recent. And first, we thought that was a joke and sort of a one-off, but now we know it's basically one thing in a string of things that's happened in the past week or two for Valve. And there is also... there's a Gordon Freeman action figure that they're starting to resell now. They're repackaging it and reselling it. Okay? And, most important and possibly most exciting thing here to talk about, Valve News Network, a good YouTuber, talked about how Ellen McLean, who is the voice of GLaDOS, but she also basically works for Valve, husband called the guy at Valve News Network, and he was in the middle of a live stream, so he had to stop the live stream to take the call. And apparently, something about how Ellen McLean is currently doing something for Valve.
Yeah.
So this is exciting stuff, guys. Valve is doing stuff. Just yeah. So people for many years now, obviously Half-Life 3 has become a joke. It is, I will say, less of a joke now. But
12 years later.
but hopes are getting up. So that's the last bit of news. And now we come back to the show for the
Best
last
picture.
thing.
Da-da-da-da.
Best picture. This is the award that we've all been waiting for.
All right.
Who do you nominate?
The Boss Baby, Zack Snyder's cut of the Justice League, Dunkirk, War for the Planet of the Apes, and Greatest Showman.
I nominate Blade Runner 2049, War for the Planet of the Apes, Dunkirk, and
Zack Snyder Justice League.
no, I refuse. And Joss Whedon's Justice League.
It's a phony. It's a phony version of Justice
Yes.
League. Can't you hear all the fans screaming from the roof how that's a phony version? Oh, I'm getting a call.
Yeah. Oh no.
Oh, it's for my brother. It's fine.
Okay. just ignore it.
Yeah, he'll leave me a message if it's really important.
Okay. So we're about to find out if it's really important.
Oh yeah, if it's really important. We'll pause the podcast. But if it's not, we'll just.
So who would you? You just get to listen to Tim's phone vibrate. This is fantastic.
Yes.
Who would you give it to?
Probably.
This is
It's
the
a-
award.
Probably War for the Planet of the Apes.
War for the Planet of the Apes for Best Picture.
Yes.
Okay. For me, I would give my Best Picture. The Oscar for Best Picture for me goes to Blade Runner 2049,
Woo!
with War for the Planet of the Apes coming in at a very close second.
Woo!
And then Dunkirk basically on the same level as a close second because I love movies and I love all movies. See, this is okay. Just to preface this as we end this part of the show before we go into HR, which will be a short thing. I just want to say real fast. I continuously feel bad about myself because I really loved and really enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, but I
Yeah.
feel like I never recognized it enough on the podcast.
Oh yeah.
Because our Guardians of the Galaxy episode pretty much talked about the first one,
Oh yeah.
and then I feel really bad now.
It's fine. James Dunn isn't clear. All right.
Oh wow.
HR. You have Jake.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the story behind that. Basically, I was doing teacher aid stuff in Mr. Hall's class, and I stepped behind his desk to grab something, and one kid says, "Hey, that kid, it's that kid. Are you the teacher today?" I'm like, I just shook my head because I prefer to stay silent half the time.
Mhm.
This podcast is one point where I talk, and so I just was silent, just kind of shook my head no, and then what did I do after that? They kept asking my name, and I finally said Tim. Or finally, someone knew me there. That was Tim. Oh, you're fading me out, aren't you?
That's right. I'm pulling one of the Oscar music fade outs. When they interrupt the
Oh, yeah.
acceptance speech.
Oh yeah.
So
Basically,
go on.
they found out my name, and then Jake yells out, "Hey, you're." They found out my name because one other girl knew my name somehow, and then I'm pretty sure that's not Molly. But I'm pretty sure it's not Molly.
What color's her hair?
Hmm.
Is she wearing glasses?
Yes.
Never mind. Okay. Yep.
Then she had like black hair. Black or
Yeah.
brown hair.
Okay. So it's not Molly.
It's not Molly. Okay, good. And then the one guy named Jake, you're cool. He yells at me and says, "Do you have a podcast?" And I just kind of respond, "Yes." And then he says, "At the IT department?" I just say, "Yes," or I think so.
Mm.
And then that be where she found out about it.
I see.
Fade me out.
Well, guys. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, and we'll see you guys next week on the.